for having me.
Now, the defence budget is going to grow in 2022 quite a lot. How is Bennett going to justify this increase?
So, first of all, he's hopefully going to be able to pass a state budget. And that's the greatest mission of this government, this new government that's been in place for a month and a half now, and is surviving pretty well for now. As you said, Israel has been lacking a state budget since 2018, running on the same budget. No new laws or anything were funded by the state, and this has, of course, created a traffic jam, a huge traffic jam in legislation and obviously in implementing any governmental decision. And budgets didn't grow, sometimes for the elderly, sometimes for education, and also for the defense ministry. What has happened so far is that the budget was sporadically increased by particular sums according to needs that were brought to the table when something happened. This year, we had a war that happened in Gaza, of course, 11 days in May, that took a heavy price from Iron Dome, for example, and also from civilian infrastructure. Some of it is going to be sponsored by the defense budget. So, what is Bennett doing? Bennett is now meeting with the different ministers, of course, and each minister has to come to an agreement together with Bennett and with the finance minister, Avigdor Lieberman, on the additional budget or on the new budget that they will receive in their ministry in this state budget that is going to be hopefully approved in November. So the bottom line is, for the defense budget, we're going to see an increase of $4 billion for 2022. And the budget for 2021 is also going to be increased by $2 billion. Of course, retroactively, that's going to be flooded into the Ministry of Defense in order to finance a lot of course, the costs of this year, speaking of that war that we had here just a month and a half ago.
And another thing that I think was interesting was that they said that they will possibly be preparing as well. They need to increase the budget to prepare for potential strikes on Iran as well.
Yeah, you know, when you're looking to justify the need for more funding in Israel, Iran is the key word. The threat from Iran is considered to be the most serious threat, of course, over Israel in our region, in the Middle East. And this is the key word. So yes, they're saying Israel will prepare for a strike against Iran. It might be a rhetoric, and there might actually be, I'm sure, some measures on the ground that are taken in order to prepare Israel for such a scenario. Hopefully it won't be necessary. But some of the other budget is also going, of course, to Iron Dome, as we said. Most of Iron Dome is sponsored, by the way, by the Americans. There is a benefits package, a defense benefits package from the U.S., $3.8 billion a year, and that is mostly financing that.
Let's talk about the criticism, though, because there has been a lot of criticism that the government have got over this increase. Why is that?
Definitely a lot of criticism. In 2015, there was an agreement that the chief of staff of the IDF then signed together with the Minister of Finance, Kahlon, and there was a lot of streamlining that was meant to happen within the military. It's the biggest organization in Israel. It's almost sacred. Of course, all Israelis go to the army. But there's also a lot of problems within this organization and a lot of difficulties combating them. But again, instead of fighting that, at the moment, the current Minister of Defense and Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister are agreeing on a new budget. Let's see if it will actually be approved in November, but it seems like this is a direction, $4 billion extra to the defense ministry in 2022.
Well, look, it's something. We haven't seen any form of budget in a long time, so it's good to see some actual numbers here. Ariel Margalit, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sarah.